Handing a company-owned vehicle to an employee can be nerve-wracking for business owners. The insurance side of company-owned vehicles can be confusing, and in the event of an auto claim, who is responsible? Let's talk about that. Hi there, it's Barbara with Berry Insurance. There are plenty of companies out there that have their employees drive frequently for work. In some situations, companies have begun issuing company vehicles to their employees. In fact, our Vice President Chris here at Berry Insurance utilizes a company car since he is frequently on the road meeting with clients and prospects. This is becoming more and more common with businesses, as we have seen with some of our own commercial insurance clients. However, insuring a company-supplied vehicle can be complex from an insurance standpoint. Is it a commercial or personal auto coverage? What covers what? And are there any restrictions? Well, in this video, you will learn: how do you insure a company-provided vehicle? What happens if an employee uses a business car for personal use? Is the employee's family covered when driving a company vehicle? Let's jump in. Insuring a company vehicle. To keep things fairly simple, if you have any company-owned vehicles, you will need to insure it under your company's commercial auto insurance policy. Whether you plan on issuing the vehicle to an employee or not, it needs to be insured on your commercial auto policy. A commercial auto policy will cover all your company's business vehicles and liabilities associated with them during work-related activities. Business auto insurance covers most vehicle-related incidents, but does have some limitations, exclusions, and optional coverages to be aware of. Generally, you can expect the following to be covered: liability for bodily injury or property damage caused by your company vehicle, physical damages to the company vehicle, medical payments, coverage if you are involved in a hit and run, coverage if you are hit by an uninsured driver, glass or windshield replacement, driving for personal reasons, damage only. While that list is fairly comprehensive, you can generally expect the following to not be covered: business or personal property inside the vehicle, mobile equipment such as job machinery, intentional bodily injury or property damage, completed operations, work you have already completed, hired auto liability for accidents caused with rented vehicles, and optional coverage, non-owned auto liability for accidents from your employee using their car for your business, optional coverage, towing, optional, rental reimbursement, optional, pollution, driving for personal reasons. What if the employee uses a business vehicle personally? This is usually a complex topic within commercial auto insurance. Commercial auto insurance only provides coverage during work-related operations. Outside of work, it takes no responsibility. So if you issue a company vehicle to an employee and it becomes their primary vehicle, it's fair to assume they will use the vehicle when they are off the clock as well, which raises the question: will they still be covered? Well, yes and no. Under a commercial auto policy, the employee would not have liability coverage in the case of an accident. However, they would be covered for the damages to the vehicle itself. In order to fill in the gap, the employee would need to get their own personal auto liability coverage to pair with the commercial auto coverage. What if the employee doesn't have their own personal auto insurance? If your employee does not have their own personal auto insurance, they won't have any liability coverage when driving the company vehicle outside of work hours. In this case, you will need to purchase additional coverage for them. One possibility is to have the employee get a named non-owner policy, which provides personal auto liability coverage for individuals who do not own their vehicle they are driving. Most of the time, you see this coverage for rental cars or people borrowing a vehicle from a family or friend. What is drive other car coverage? The other option is to add drive other car coverage to your company auto policy. Drive other car coverage is an endorsement of a commercial auto policy that provides personal liability coverage to the driver of a commercial vehicle when driving for personal use. This coverage works in a similar way to named non-owner coverage, as both will help bridge the gap in coverage left from the commercial auto policy. Insurance carriers will require drive other car coverage if the driver does not have their own personal auto policy or isn't a named insured on another person's auto policy. In some cases, drive other car coverage is automatically included in commercial auto policies, but typically the endorsement will have to be added for an additional cost. Are employees' family members covered when in or driving company vehicles? If the employee is driving and gets in an accident, any injuries to their family or anyone else as passengers are covered. However, if a family member is driving, that is more of a gray area. In some cases, drive other car coverage can be extended to resident spouses of the employee. Often this only applies for spouses of corporate officers. That means if your employee's spouse is in an accident while driving the company car for personal reasons, they would be covered. However, be sure to talk to your agent and check your specific policy for what is allowed and who coverage would be extended to. For example, youthful operators are a totally different story. Young drivers pose more of a risk and generally increase insurance premiums. For those reasons, commercial insurance policies will not cover children drivers unless they work for the company. If the employee being issued the company vehicle has children of driving age, they will have to be on the other parent's policy or have a policy of their own. Your company's vehicles are important, but so are the employees driving them. To best protect yourself, your company, and your employees, discuss your coverage options with your insurance agent before you issue a company vehicle. If you have any further questions about commercial auto insurance or any other insurance questions, check out the Learning Center on our website. We have tons of articles and videos on a variety of insurance topics. If you found today's video helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our YouTube channel. We post videos like this every week to help educate our viewers on the world of insurance. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.